Many of you have been cooking at home a lot more lately because of the pandemic, and with newly learned recipes, you can make a zine to document and share them with your family and friends. So, let's get started. The zine is basically a self-published book anybody can make. There aren't many rules. You can make it image-based, text-based, or a good mix of both. Besides documenting recipes, a food zine can go in many directions. It can be a first-person account of the joy of cooking for yourself, or of the struggle if it hasn't really been working out. It can also be a visual inventory of your favorite shelf-stable foods. I will stick to a recipe zine and show you how I make mine. The zine will include 3 of my favorite egg recipes with a different egg dish for each meal of the day. 1. Find a piece of paper. Printer paper is perfect. I'm using watercolor paper here because I'll be painting a little bit. 2. Fold it like a hot dog. Now fold it across like a hamburger and fold it in the same direction again. When you unfold the paper, you should have 8 panels like this. 3. Fold it like a hamburger once again. From the fold, use a scissor and cut to the center. You'll have a slit in the middle, like this. 4. Unfold once more and fold it like a hot dog. Squish the 2 ends to the center to create the 4 flaps. And now you have a book. Planning. On your sheet of paper for the top 4 panels, the orientation of your text should be upside down, so that once it is folded, all the text will be right side up. For the bottom 4 panels, just fill in the text right side up. You can use a pencil to lightly make a note of the orientation and label the front and back of your zine, along with pages from 1 to 6. I start with a rough plan usually like this in terms of the content. In terms of the look, you can consider different fonts, colors, formats, and paper qualities, which will all impact the reader's impression. I picked a thinner and thicker pen so the weight of my text can vary, and I decided to use a combination of collage and illustration for the visuals. I know I wanted to use a copy machine to copy my zine after, so I used varying tones of the same color for the illustrations, knowing it will be printed as black and white in the end. Use a pencil to lightly block out what section goes on what page so you don't run out of space before you finish writing the instructions. Writing. I like to write my zine as if I'm talking to a friend. I include an intro message to introduce my egg recipe for lunch as something you can whip up in under 5 minutes. Visualizing. Drawing food doesn't need to be difficult. Don't be afraid to use the internet for some references if the food is not sitting right in front of you. Try to identify what is the most iconic form of the dish. With my breakfast rolled egg dish, tamagoyaki, I observed there was a swirly pattern on the surface like a rolled cake, and that was visualized simply through spiraling lines. And typically for this dish, a few pieces come together on a plate. All this context helps communicate what the food is if you're not the best at drawing. Squigglies on top of the dish are a great way to show it's steamy. Bubbles tell a viewer they're looking at a liquid. Labels also help. If you're going for texture, vary the size and darkness to make it appear more organic, like the folds in the scrambled eggs here. If you still don't want to draw, old magazines and newspapers are great for collages. Use what you have at home. Cut them out and glue them into your zine. I cut out yellow images from the magazine to make a collage of an egg yolk. So here's my little recipe book. You can download it in the link below to print at home and fold yourself. I hope you'll also make one yourself, and please show me in the comments what you come up with. Make sure you subscribe to Taste Buds, and I'll see you next week.